is Alice and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Australia, and today I've got a really fun card. I made this card recently for my nephew's birthday, who's obsessed with his Switch and he absolutely loved it. So I thought I'll share with you guys how I made it. It's be perfect for those teenagers. I find those cards quite difficult to make. They're so fussy and picky. So let's just get started. Okay, so you will need a piece of black cardstock. So I've just cut, mine's just half a sheet of A4, cut in half, and I've scored it in half again. I'll have measurements down below in both centimeters and in inches, so don't worry too much about the measurements. Okay, so you also need a piece of the basic grey cardstock and a piece of red and blue, whatever you have handy. You can use specific point. This isn't quite specific point, this is just a piece of cardstock I had lying around, and I thought that it matches the Nintendo Switch blue color perfectly, and a piece of red as well. And I've also got two little black circles which I've cut out with my smallest circle die. So these are about 1.5 centimeters or 3/4 of an inch. So whatever circle punch die, it doesn't have to be exact the size, but roughly around the size should work perfectly, as long as it sort of fits on that strip and you're okay. And just a insert for the inside of the card. Okay, so what I will do first is, let's just assemble this. Okay, so if you know what a Nintendo Switch looks like, I'm going to place these so you get a bit of a picture, an idea, and that's how it's going to look, and then we'll stamp that. So I might do my stamping first. So I'm actually going to be using the Stampin' Up Biggest Wishes. I absolutely love this set, so versatile. I love the big bold fonts. I like how you can mix and match the happy birthdays. So for my nephew's card I did put happy birthday, but I might switch it up again. I might use this happy just to make it a little bit more interesting. So let's mount those on. So I want to put the happy in the script font, which is this one here, and the birthday as well. So I'm not sure about you guys, but whilst I love white heat embossing on a black, I make a mess. Powder gets everywhere. It's a bit of a disaster, but let's see how we go today. Sorry, I'm just grabbing my stamping tool. So what I will do is I'll keep the basic grey card piece, and we'll just move these to the side. Actually, maybe we'll move it further to the side. I just don't get white heat embossing powder everywhere. So I'm just using my stamping tool today because I really want to make sure that we get that Versamark really on nice and even. Just make sure I have it long ways. So I'm just going to place my piece of paper in the corner in case I need to restamp. That's in position. So what I would do, and what I did with his card, is I actually have the font. I have it like this actually. And I have some space here so you can actually personalize it. So if you already know who you're giving the card to, you can use whatever letters, stamps that you have, even some, I use die cuts using the Playful alphabet set. So I use that and put his name, and put his name was Ryan. I'll put a picture here so you can sort of see what it looked like. So that was a lot of fun. So I'm just going to leave space so when I decide who I give this card to, I can cut out the letters for that. So I'm just going to place the happy on a bit of a, doesn't have to be straight. And I'm just thinking, would that look good, or should I have it? No, I think I'm actually going to have it like that. So like I said, with the previous card, I did use the big bold one, so I could just line them up, but you know, make a bit of a different card this time round. Okay, so let me just get out my embossing, my Versamark ink, which is over here. I've also got my little Dissatisfy little thingy-me-bob, what do you call it, embossing buddy. I don't want to have embossing powder everywhere because, like I said before, I get it everywhere. So let's see how we go. So I've got some Versamark ink there, and I stamp it up really good. Okay, so let's stamp that on, and I'm going to use my sleeve just to give it a good stamping. So I've got two teenage girls, and one of them likes to play on the PlayStation, so maybe it's my next card. I'll try and replicate a PlayStation console. Let's see. Okay, that looks pretty good. Although I'm just not sure about the birthday, so I'm actually just going to ink that up a bit more because it will be in white. So I want to make sure that it's nice and crisp. And so let's go for a sec. And that's a benefit. That's the awesome thing about using a stamping tool, is that you can stamp again. Hopefully the cardstock hasn't moved. I didn't actually put it back in place, so let's see how I go. That looks good. Okay, let's just put this aside. And I'll get out the, just got a little tray and some white embossing powder. So just put it in a little plastic container. It just makes it a lot easier for me to try not to get white powder everywhere. So I'm just going to put that in there. And like I said, I do get powder in all sorts of places and all over the cards. So this helps me keep it contained. And that looks really good. So what I might just do is get, I've just got a little bit of powder there. So we'll just grab a little paintbrush I have. So I'll just use this. Now I'll put this aside. A little tip for you. I don't really use the putty end of my take a pick tool. And I'm not sure about you guys, but that little putty bit has a mind of its own. So I don't know, maybe if you've got tips for me below. Every time I open it up, it's come out a little bit, but that's okay. I don't really use it, but it is perfect for picking up those stray embossing powders. So just be very careful. I don't muck up the rest of it. So I do like to pick up that. And that looks really good. So I'm just going to heat set this and I'll be back just a moment. Okay guys, so that's how it looks. That turned out really, really nice actually. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now the paper did warp a little bit, so I'm not too worried about that. So you can flatten it, and I'll just flatten it for the time being. Whilst we, actually I'll let that dry first. That should be not too bad actually. So I'm just going to pop that just to flatten a little bit while I just tidy up some of my embossing powder. Because I do not want that to go everywhere. Because it's a pain to clean. Okay, whilst we're waiting for that to flatten, we'll just do the inside of the front of the card and start assembling. So that's for the inside, which I'll probably do last. So what we'll do is we'll stick these two pieces on. So sort of make sure they are nice and lined up. So I will use my Tombow glue, just so give me a bit of room to move and slide that into place. Right. So I still want my shovel folded just to line that up. Actually, that might be a bit easier. Give that a nice burnish. Okay, that's that side done. And then I'll do the other side. So did you guys play any games when you were younger? I remember having the old Game Boy. I'm not sure if some of you guys remember that, but I definitely enjoyed my Donkey Kong. It was probably one of my favourite games on my Game Boy. There we go. It's nice and lined up. And what I will actually do is, oops, to the side, close the lid of my glue. I'm actually going to grab my corner punch. So if you do know the switch, the corners are round, so I'm actually going to do that now. Before I actually put in, actually no, just trying to think now, how do I do the other card? Now you'll see with my nephew's card, I actually cut that flap just to make it a bit more of a fun fold, but for today, just for simplicity, I thought I'll keep it as a normal card base. So what I will actually do is I will put this piece on the inside, because then I'll cut it all with the corner rounder. So yeah, he loves his switch. So I was just so happy to sort of see him look at the card. Okay, put that in nice and straight. Okay, see I've got embossing powder here, but that's okay. Let me just grab this cloth because I feel I've got powder everywhere. Okay, so just grabbing my corner rounder, and I hopefully haven't made it too thick. So we're back to homeschooling here in Victoria and lockdown number 5. So I've got a bit more time to do some crafting. But I'm not sure if you can hear my husband and my kids in their Zoom meetings. So that looks really good actually. So switch has got rounded corners, so if you've got that, otherwise you can feel free to use a pair of scissors and that worked just fine as well. I probably should, just a hint, and I can sort of see now it's a bit annoying, but I probably should have rounded the edges of my card insert separately before I stuck it on. You can't really tell, but you know, I think it would have just matched the card a little bit better, but that's okay. Okay, so what I will do is before I glue that panel on, I want to bring in my matte black dots and my little die cut circles. Now also I've got a little tiny circle there, so if you've got a little punch that can punch out a little circle, that will be a lot easier rather than free drawing a circle. So I actually got this from the turtle punch. It's got 2 little round circles for the eyes. So find in your stash what you've got, but otherwise, like I said, you can either use one of the matte black dots or you can try drawing it freehand, but I suck at freehand, so that's going to be a lot easier. So let's just clear it off here and make some space and do a quick tidy. Okay, so I'm just bringing in my matte black dots, and I might glue these on with some glue dots. You can use dimensionals if you want to add a bit more dimension to it, but I probably will be posting this out, and I don't know who I'm going to be giving this card to, so I just find glue dots a little bit easier to work with and less messy. So that one I think goes, actually let me just double check. I'm going to grab my picture of the Nintendo Switch. Okay, so we've got a picture of the Nintendo Switch. We've got the little consoles on that side and that side. So I'll just put this over here. And I'll put that little reference point. So that goes there. Grab the other one. Oops. And get on there, little buddy. Okay, and I'll line this one to go over here. Perfect. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll put this one, I might use a little bit of Tombow rather than a glue dot because it is quite small, and I'll pop that right there. Okay, so yes, it's grabbing my little take a pick tool and popping that there. Excellent. Okay, so I'm going to use a small part of the matte black dots. I absolutely love these actually. They're very versatile. They bring a lot of black out in the cards and give them a bit of a pop of black. I'm going to say colour, but black isn't a colour. So we'll use that to do our little buttons on the console. Okay, actually I'm going to bring in my other... Now, I don't, like I said, I don't use the putty in or the pick tool. I've seen people use it and use it really well. For me, I'm hopeless at it for these kind of gems. So I'm just bringing, this is just a little blade cutter. So I find it a lot easier to pick up my gems with this. So what I'll do is I'll place, whoops. Okay, that one over here. So you just kind of want to line that up with that side, and then the other buttons will line up with this side. I do find it's easier just to do the top and bottom ones first, line them up, and then you can do the ones on the side in the middle. Now if you don't have these matte black dots, again you could probably just I would just use a black texter or a black marker, as you would call it. So and just put, you know, grab a little tip of the mark and just draw your black dots in. But I thought this just gives a bit more wow and dimension to the card, a bit more interest to it. So we'll do the other side as well. Just matching up there. Oops. sort of want it to look the same size as that, so just eyeballing it. Doesn't have to be perfect. It's a handmade card, of course. So we strive for perfection, but it's okay if it's not. There we go. Let's push this one in a little bit. Okay, so that is done. So let me put this aside. So also on the switch, there's a couple of other markings on there. So I will grab just a black pen that you may have, a little black liner. There's a plus and minus sign, so I'm just going to bring out my ruler. I probably should have done this before I put the gems on, actually. So little hint for you guys. Just so I can put I'm actually going to do it this way, but I can't see how far, so I might have it about there. Okay, let's hope that position is okay. And I'm just going to do a little mark here and a mark here. This side is a plus, so I'll just do that. Let's put the halfway mark there. Just even out that a little bit. There. And opposite the circle is a little square, so that's going to be a little bit tricky, but I will try. I'm definitely no graphic artist, but we'll do our best. I do want it roughly the same size as the circle, so I'll use my circle just to, oops, put a dot here. Yep, that's about right. Again, you guys, you can be freehand, doesn't have to be perfect. I am trying to be perfect, but I think, you know, my nephew wasn't going to judge and say, your square's not perfect. His dad might, but he was happy just to receive a card. Shout out to my brother. I know he watches my videos sometimes. I've got two brothers actually. Oh my goodness, my square is starting to get bigger and bigger as I try to even it out a little bit. And I have to stop fussing about it soon. I'll just be happy. All right, that will do. Okay, so that's pretty much as fidgety as I will get with this. So you can sort of see the little square. It's not perfect. But I feel like if I just be careful, I did use sort of a felt tip pen, so it did bleed a little bit. But you know what, like I said, I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be perfect. All right, so what I'll do is bring up my Tombow again, and we'll glue this on here. And that's pretty much going to be it for the cards. So it doesn't take long at all. Okay, you can also run this through your Big Shot or Stampin' Emboss as well to flatten it. But I think once I glue that on, it should straighten out. So let me just line this up. I do want it to be even. Whoops. Just hold that into place while that dries. I will bring out my block again and just pop that on so we can dry. I'm also waiting for that to dry. Let's clear our table. Okay, so there you go, guys. That's the card. It is warping a little bit over here, but there you go. Happy birthday. What do you think? Quick and easy, fun card, perfect for those teenagers and nephews and any gamer really. You can sort of see the little buttons in the console. So there you go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. And if you do like the video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more videos, and I'll see you next time. Bye.